Hello. My name is Mason Litzenberger, and in this video, I'll be reflecting on my experience contributing to the WikiEdu Broadcom Biography project. This project aims to increase the representation of notable people in STEM fields from underrepresented Black, Indigenous, and Latinx groups, into the main article space of Wikipedia as a whole. The team with whom I worked with wrote our article on Dr. Novella Bridges for her contributions to the field of inorganic chemistry. To gather research information for the biography, we inherited a few links to significant, varied, online articles, and book resources. From my own personal successes, I found that leveraging search engines and adding in little-known elements of the tilde quote search, yielded extra resources which helped round out our group's citable sources of information. I specifically ensured that the resources I found were tied well to one another, and, if a source mentioned certain information, I tracked down that secondary information from at least one additional source. This allowed our team to come up with a well-vetted bibliography section, allowing our advisors to see the research information all in one location, and established why each source of information helped build a broader and richer timeline for Dr. Bridges' personal milestones. A large majority of the personal contributions I added towards the project were under the bibliography section. For each of the 12 citable resources our team found, for roughly 8 of them, I added a few summary and why this source is important sentences to establish an easy roadmap of which resource contains which pertinent information. Additionally, I began drafting large chunks of content for Dr. Bridges' life within the main categories of early life and education, career, personal life, and recognition and awards. I hope that this formative chunk of early work and structure helped the flow of writing the actual, forward-facing biography article which is currently on Wikipedia, proper. Essentially, the bibliography was treated like an initial framework for the team's research and timeline of events, and also demonstrated the credibility of the aggregate sources. For the actual biography section, I fully admit that I did not contribute as much as my main team member, Leslie. For the milestone deadline of getting the article drafted before peer reviews, I spent all my time on the bibliography section mentioned above, not realizing that the bibliography was not going to be relevant to the actual article which was released to Wikipedia. Leslie was instrumental in writing a majority of the content for the biography itself. It may have been due to my lack of understanding, but I didn't find an easier way to bring over the main 12 citation sources without manually duplicating them again from the bibliography. After the peer reviews, which are mentioned a little bit later, I heavily contributed to, and edited thoroughly, the lead paragraph, as well as adding and vetting a majority of the source citations within the body of the article by mostly using the framework established in the bibliography. A very interesting element of the WikiEdu project on the whole is the criteria of notability of a person. Fortunately, within WikiEdu's own training modules, there is a clear set of criteria which makes a person deemed as notable. As an aside, from Wikipedia's main definition of notability, it tries to emphasize that a person is notable if there are varied, numerous, independent sources of information on the person. However, this emphasis on verifiable sources led to the frustrating realization that if someone made great contributions to the advancements of science, if they are an expert in their field, and if they're having direct effects on advancing human knowledge, they might be an important person, but not necessarily a notable one. In contrast, if someone happens to have a flash-in-the-pan element of celebrity which caused numerous media sources to write an article about this person, then that person is considered notable, but not necessarily important. I don't discount Wikipedia for making this distinction at all, but I just found it an odd element of how humans perceive celebrity. Within the article, there also is training and an importance weighed on writing the article in a way which completely avoids plagiarism, being cognizant of potential bias of where the articles and research could be coming from, writing the article in a neutral tone so as to avoid inserting one's own biases into the article, and other more esoteric elements like Wikipedia not publishing people's titles of academia, like in the case of Dr. Novella Bridges. One of the most interesting, and eye-opening, elements of the project was the portion of providing peer reviews of other teams' articles which covered different notable people under the umbrella of the Broadcom biography project. This portion gave everyone the ability to read others' articles, provide constructive critiques on what they observed of others' articles, and in turn, realize where some of their own potential shortcomings within their own article may lie. As well as receiving feedback from my other classmates, which was concise and helpful, I know that the peer review milestone of the project definitely helped put many elements throughout all of my team's article into perspective. It clarified where we were strong, where we were weak, and where we were naive. After the peer review, our lead paragraph changed dramatically since the peer review step highlighted the critical importance of the lead paragraph. We learned that the lead paragraph is supposed to introduce and provide an important, broad scope summary of a lot of highlights of Dr. Bridges' total life. The following subdivisions, early life and education, career, etc., are the more detailed elements which capture more of the specifics. This project was challenging in a way that I didn't anticipate when I first heard about it, and, upon wrapping up, I found the article, the goals of the Broadcom project, and the work performed by my group to be very significant and socially important. As a simple element which was baked into the project, but which didn't have clearly assigned duties, I took on the role of the project manager. Within the group structure, I would like to think that I did an average job of helping coordinate deadlines of the milestones, but I also recognize that I felt most comfortable and successful within my role by initiating conversation with my team members to ensure, and ask politely, for certain elements to be specifically covered and see what elements I could help provide to support them. Working with the team was very simple and efficient though, since they, Leslie and Cass, were incredibly professional. As a team we were able to achieve our goal, but I fully recognize that Leslie, specifically, put in a greater proportion of work than my own, specific contributions. In the end, our article was vetted by our advisors and greenlit to go live. It now resides on the internet as an official Wikipedia page. Thank you very much for watching this summary and debrief video about the WikiEdu Broadcom biography project. I hope this video helps provide some clear factors of where I was able to contribute to, not only the nuts and bolts of the bibliography, citations, and lead paragraph of the article, but also how I was able to support my team from background elements to ensure the creation of a quality article, one of which I am proud of and I feel like it accurately highlights Dr. Novella Bridges' achievements. It was a privilege to be a voice on this initiative and help increase the visibility of notable figures within the fields of STEM from underrepresented groups.